So, the wide receivers. There's a little narrative going around that the Texans need wide receivers. Okay, yes, they need wide receivers. They need depth at the wide receiver position. That does not mean go and get Allen Robinson, Jarvis Landry. Although I do like them, the Texans do not need them. They don't. They're pretty good where they're at right now in terms of starters, but backups, that's where there's an issue. So let's start off with the newly signed Monte Crockett. Monte Crockett was a rookie last year. He was on the Packers practice squad and on the Jaguars. He's a speedy wide receiver, kind of built like Will Fuller, 6 feet tall, 170 pounds. Although he doesn't have crazy speed like Will Fuller, he's a little bit slower than Will Fuller, but still faster than anyone else we have on the team at the wide receiver position. Now, Crockett is pretty much a special team guy. From what it looks like, they might try to work him in at the wide receiver spot. And if he does get a spot, it's pretty much behind Fuller, because besides Fuller, we don't have a speedy wide receiver that can stretch the field. We had Wendell Williams, but he didn't even make the roster, so pretty sure Monte Crockett's going to get a chance to be Will Fuller's backups, because Will Fuller has been hurt these past 2 seasons. So he might be that guy if, say, Will Fuller were to go down, he'd be his replacement. Let's talk about 2 other guys that are kind of like at the bottom of the roster: DeAndre White and Kobe Hamilton. Yeah, they didn't really do much. Don't expect them to be on the team next year. They might be there during training camp, but they didn't really do anything. And DeAndre White actually got some playing time, and during that playing time, yeah, it wasn't pretty. Now, another guy at the bottom of the roster is Chris Thompson. Now, Chris Thompson doesn't really bring much at the wide receiver position, but when you talk about special teams, the guy is a guy you have to keep, honestly, because a lot of the times in punt coverage and kick return coverage, he was the first one there. Now, he hardly ever made the tackle, but to me, that don't really matter as much, because he was down there. He'd make people, fair catch the ball, and on occasions, most of the time when he was down there, he'd disrupt the play, meaning he'd make the returner hesitate, go somewhere else, and the people that actually could make the tackle would get there. So I think Chris Thompson has earned his spot on the roster. I've said this before in my live streams. Brian Gaine needs to address special teams, meaning not just kicker and punter, players that specialize in special teams. Special teams specialists is what I like to call them. He needs to invest a little bit of money towards players like Christian Thompson that can play special teams, players that specialize in playing special teams. Now, we're actually going to get to the 4 main guys, and we're going to start off with Braxton Miller. As you guys know, not a very big Braxton Miller fan. Braxton Miller hadn't shown me anything, but there was a 3-game stretch where Braxton Miller was actually getting open, actually catching the ball, actually making stuff happen, which came to me as a surprise, because I actually thought Braxton Miller was a complete bust, a complete failure. Like, he wasn't going to amount to anything. But Braxton Miller finally showed me something, and that was with Tom Savage. Imagine if you throw this guy in there with Deshaun Watson, he can actually be a dangerous weapon. So I'm not going to give up on Braxton Miller. I'm one of those people that if I think you suck, then you suck until you prove me wrong. And Braxton Miller started to prove me wrong for a small stretch there, but then he got hurt. So Braxton Miller, I think he could be a good player. I mean, to be fair, this season was only his third year playing the wide receiver position. So maybe in his fourth season playing wide receiver, he could finally, take a step forward and become the slot receiver we drafted him to be. Even though we have Bruce Ellington. Bruce Ellington, man. Just a signing, I want to say it was like right before preseason started. Not many people thought that much about him, but the guy plays the slot receiver position how you're supposed to play it. He was doing really good with Deshaun Watson. We've been trying to find a slot receiver for the past, or since O'Brien has been here, and we finally found one with Bruce Ellington. Pretty fast guy, not the fastest guy out there, and obviously not as fast as Will Fuller, but he's fast. He can get some separation, actually catch the ball. But in the past, he has been injury prone. But I wouldn't worry too much about that because I do believe in Braxton Miller. I do believe Braxton Miller is going to take a step forward. But I feel like we have two really capable slot receivers with Bruce Ellington and possibly Braxton Miller. So I don't think we really need any more slot receivers. And next we got Will Fuller. Okay, so Will Fuller was not a pick I really liked. And last season, or 2016, although Will Fuller had better stats his rookie season than this past season, I still thought Will Fuller was not that good of a pick. But then, oh god, 2017 came along. Will Fuller was hurt for the first 3 games. And he got back against Tennessee, and my god, with Deshaun Watson, Will Fuller was playing lights out. Will Fuller is not a bust. Will Fuller was probably a steal. And again, how I said about Braxton Miller. If I think you're bad until you prove me wrong. Will Fuller proved me wrong. I mean, there was a point in the season where Will Fuller had 9 receptions and 7 touchdowns. Seriously. Deshaun Watson utilizes Will Fuller how he's supposed to be utilized. A deep threat that can blow the top off a defense, that can be dangerous. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins is our best wide receiver. And that's not even debatable. Will Fuller, though, he's our most dangerous wide receiver. There's a difference. Because Will Fuller, in one play, whether it's a screen or a deep ball, maybe a punt return or a kick return, if they choose to utilize him there, because he's done so in the past, he can get you a touchdown real quick, and that's pretty dangerous. I like Will Fuller, and he's just a perfect complement to DeAndre Hopkins. Will Fuller makes the safeties play really deep, and then DeAndre Hopkins just eats underneath. That's pretty much what it is with Will Fuller and DeAndre Hopkins. A perfect complement to each other. We do not need Allen Robinson. We do not need Jarvis Landry. Fuller and Hopkins is a perfect combination of wide receivers. And I love Will Fuller, but injuries, man. That is a concern. He's been hurt his first 2 years. But again, we had Jadeveon Clowney who was hurt his first 2 years. And then, no longer hurt. So maybe Will Fuller can get healthier and really start to dominate opposing secondaries. Now the last guy, of course, DeAndre Hopkins, the best wide receiver in the league. Brown, I don't give a damn. Julio Jones, don't care. Odell Beckham, yeah, whatever. DeAndre Hopkins is by far the best wide receiver in the league. He's quarterback proof. He can be good with any quarterback, as you can see. Antonio Brown, when Big Ben goes down, Antonio Brown doesn't do anything. Antonio Brown's a pure product of Big Ben. Odell Beckham can't stay healthy. Julio Jones always seems to be playing with injuries. This season he didn't do much. DeAndre Hopkins, he has the best hands in the league. Not even close. He makes all these crazy catches. He has great route running. And he somehow improved on his speed. He gets separations. He has a great release. And something DeAndre Hopkins does better than anyone in NFL history is that toe drag swag. If you throw the ball to the sideline, DeAndre Hopkins is going to keep his feet in bounds and get that catch. I mean, there's not much you can say. DeAndre Hopkins is the best wide receiver in the league. So, looking at the receivers in general, again, at the top, we're pretty good. The first 3, I'd say. because Braxton Miller is still kind of a mystery. But if Braxton Miller does make progress, we only have 4 capable wide receivers. And I still don't think that's enough. I think we need at least one more to have, just in case injuries give players a rest and stuff like that. But we do not need Allen Robinson or Jarvis Landry, even though I love Jarvis Landry, and he'd be a perfect fit in Houston because he's a slot receiver. But we gotta invest elsewhere. Wide receiver position is not a position we really have to invest big money on. And I like the receivers we have right now. The first 4. Well, first 3 really. Braxton Miller, still kind of hesitant on him, but he has shown flashes, which is what's important. His first year, he didn't do anything, so. With that being said, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.